What would you do? What would you do if you could make a change, a single change, that would ultimately affect how you acted and reacted to everyone? Would you make the change? Now, while you're starting to think, well, yeah, I would, don't you want to ask first, is it a good change or a bad change? It never even crossed your mind. Know why? Because you have integrity. If it was a good change, well, that's fine, but if it was a bad change, not sure how that would work out. But either way, the course of action that would result in your life is one due to integrity. So I just said kind of a mouthful that you'll have to let roll around a little bit and think about. But if you will, I believe here's where you'll end up. Integrity actually is not a thought process so much as it is a result of all kinds of thought processes. One of my favorite, all-time favorite teachers is a man by the name of Dr. Joe Vitale. Mr. Fire is his website, and he was a star on the movie The Secret. He's written, I'm sure, well over 40 best-selling books. He's a very powerful author. He really understands marketing at a level that I can't even conceive of it as. And he's a very giving man. He does an incredible volume of work with people, very concerned about how they do and how they achieve and the success levels that they reach. He, to me, epitomizes integrity. He's speaking in a range of philosophy that a lot of people disagree with because it's metaphysics. And a lot of people don't agree with metaphysics. In the United States of America, according to whichever poll you go with, either 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 people claim to be God believers or believers in the Bible, or people who are of that ilk. And probably out of that, maybe more than half would consider themselves, I would think, fundamental. So given those rough figures, fundamentalists in religious circles tend to not want to accept metaphysical teachings. So it's just not as popular as what people would think. And yet, in the bottom line, metaphysics does seem to prove out, doesn't it? Because Dr. Vitale's had amazing success, and he's helped an awful lot of people have amazing success. So the proof of his life work is the proof of the fact that his integrity is intact. Now, how would you view a person whose integrity was not intact? Or is there a historical example of an individual whose integrity was not intact? Now, I got to share with you that I am not happy with this example, but nevertheless I believe it to be true, and here's why. Hitler ended his life in suicide. And of all the people that I can think of that smack of not having integrity, I tend to think of him because of the high levels of deceit that were involved in his life and the monstrous amount of horror that he created. So integrity is not an easy thing to define, but you know it when you see it, and yet the problem is it still revolves around being true to yourself. Look, I would love to see a dialogue set up and light up and go on about integrity. I think it's so needed, and I think it's so lacking in our culture. It's a very precious commodity, and I really hope that this has helped you kind of begin to get your mind around what it might be. My phone number is 323-319-6621. Or you can always reach me at drd1201@gmail.com. I'd love to dialogue with you about integrity. It's one of the things that when you learn about it, you begin to use reflection in your own life about it. Is a person trustworthy? Can you trust them? And integrity is just absolutely essential to that. Listen, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for spending this time with me. And let's dialogue. Get in touch with me if you have questions about integrity. Thanks. Bye-bye.